Welcome to the Lawrence County Revolutionary War Trail. Almost 250 years ago, the American Revolution began. South Carolina had a major impact on the winning of that war, as did present-day Lawrence County. The Battle of Musgrove Mill was a turning point in the war. It was a Patriot victory which followed defeat at Camden and Charleston. Also, the Battle of Old Hammond Store was a major turning point. It happened just 2 weeks before the Battle of Cowpens, which was a major victory for the Patriots. The Battle of Old Hammond Store, a victory for the Patriots, caused the Loyalists to go to ground. They did not fight, they did not march and fight at Cowpens. Only 50 Loyalists went to Cowpens. And of the Patriots, they were emboldened because of their victory. And 1,000 marched to Cowpens and helped win that important victory. The Battle of Yorktown, of course, most people thought was the end of the war, but the month after that, Bloody Bill Cunningham started his bloody scout, rampaging through the backcountry, killing Patriots, destroying and burning their property. And Hayes Station was one of those sites. We have numerous sites on our trail. We encourage you to come and visit and learn what happened here, learn your past, and tell the stories to your children and your grandchildren. I'm Diane Culbertson. I'm on the Lawrence County 250 Committee and the State 250 Commission. We have developed a trail to show people what happened in Lawrence County during the American Revolution. An interesting fact about this site in Gray Court is that it's on the old Georgia Road where the stagecoaches went to Georgia. And they would stop at the Dorroh stagecoach stop just right across the railroad, which is still there.
Hello, my name is Sarah Jane Limehouse Armstrong, and my friend Diane Culbertson and I, back in 2001, we just love history, so we founded the Gray Court Owens Historical Society. And we got to know the history of this area, Gray Court and Owens, and both of these towns have ancestors that were fought in the American Revolution, John Gray and Richard Owens. The first cabin here came from Durbin Creek, and it's Isaac Gray, and he was a Tory, and he had 500 acres, and his family evidently must not have been too awful because he got to keep his farm and his log cabin. The second log cabin there was on Robertson land, and John Atwood married Lucy Robertson. And one of his descendants was the second sheriff of Lawrence County, and they had several children which served in the war between the states. But the families during the American Revolution, it was neighbor against neighbor or family against families because there were Patriots and Tories all through the backcountry. It was a luxury to have a log cabin, so the families that had a log cabin, that was better than sleeping out here on the ground. And they had to be self-sufficient, and everything that they had, they had to kill it or grow it, and or make all their clothes and that sort of thing. And I always felt sorry for the women because when the men were all fighting for 6 weeks to 3 months, then who was going to cut the wood and who was going to get the food in for her to feed the children and to get the water, and just endless stories. So the men were all fighting, but the women had to survive also.
Welcome to Pioneer Day. This is the Culbertson Backcountry Settlement in Gray Court, South Carolina. The Gray Court Owens Historical Society sponsors Pioneer Day. This is our 8th annual Pioneer Day. And we moved all these buildings here to preserve them. They're all from this area, and we will tell you about those as we go along. This is the Gray Nesbitt cabin. It came from Durbin Creek, about 5 miles east of here. And we moved it here, log by log, and the fireplace is exactly as it stood over there. It has 2 fireplaces, and we are so happy to have preserved it here at the Backcountry Settlement. This is the Gray Nesbitt cabin, and we moved this cabin. We had someone move it for us, log by log, and the chimney exactly as it had been over there, about 5 miles east of here on Durbin Creek. This chimney has a petroglyph in it. We've had an archaeologist look at it, Tommy Charles, and he says this is a petroglyph an ancient carving that was probably down by the river, and they included it in their chimney. This is the Atwood Robertson cabin, and we are on the old Georgia Road. This road was the old wagon road and stagecoach road to Georgia. This cabin was just down this road underneath a two-story house, and we found it. We saw the two-story falling away, and that was the beginning of this settlement. There was nothing here, and we started with this cabin. We moved it totally volunteer. Our historical society took it down log by log. We marked each log beforehand and then put it back up. It took us about 6 years all told to do it. We have furnished it exactly as it would have been in 1790, and it's just been a labor of love. We did the mud chinking, our fingerprints are in it, and we have thoroughly enjoyed doing this and collecting and now sharing it with others. We love doing tours and preserving the past. That's our purpose, is to preserve the past so that we know who we are. This is the interior of the Atwood Robertson cabin. John Robertson came down from Virginia with his family, and he and Mr. Atwood built this house for John's daughter Lucy, who married John Atwood. This was just down the road on Georgia Road, and we're so happy to preserve this cabin. It's a 1.5 story Scotch-Irish with the front door and back door straight through, mud chinking. We actually cook in the fireplace. We have collected items, we have made items, we have ordered items to be as authentic as we can to the late 1700s. Today we're having bluegrass music on the porch. Can you get the steps? I should have those windows open upstairs. I tell them I'm going to turn on the light. I go up and open the windows. We made those candles that are hanging from the ceiling. And we churn butter, and we have tours. We have children come through and learn what it was like 200 years ago. This is a blockhouse. It came from over on the Seneca River, actually across from Hopewell Treaty, up on a hill on the Oconee side. Eugene Curry's family gave it to us. The Lowry family had owned it, and it had been used as a barn, and it was coming down, so they gave it to us and we moved it here. We are thrilled to have this piece of history, and we use it to show pre-revolutionary and revolutionary era. We're inside the blockhouse now, and we have some of the Musgrove Mill militia ladies over there. You see it has the stairs up. There are 2 lofts. We believe one loft was for the ladies, the next loft for the men. They would come here for safety. If there was an Indian uprising, they would come to the blockhouse. All the people would come from their cabins to be safe. And then later on from the Tories, they would come here for safety. And the men would be able to shoot down from the upper level. We're on the east side of the blockhouse, and these logs, you can see the Roman numerals where they marked them 200 years ago as they were putting it together, or 250, so that they could put them in the right order. We have used as much of the old material as we could. We did have to replace some wood, but we're very thankful to have this blockhouse. This is the blacksmith shop. We moved it over here from the Barnett family's farm, and we moved it log by log, put it up, volunteer, all our historical society members. And we have inside the old blacksmith tools, the anvil, and the various other things. Many of the farms here just had a small brick forge to do their work. We're also having an art show on one side, and we have a blacksmith over here. We'll speak to him. Mr. Harper, we wanted to get you on video.
Well, then I need to be making something.
We're so glad to have Mr. Harper come. He comes every year. He's our blacksmith, and we're so thankful for him to come.
Well, I appreciate it. I enjoy coming. People are very nice here.
Okay.
And, okay. Well,
We'll get y'all in a few minutes. We're making the rounds. We're inside the church, Ora Old Fields Presbyterian Church, and we have the Sacred Harp Singers. They're here from several states doing shape note singing. This church was 5 miles from here on Ora Road, and we moved it here to have a church. We have Thanksgiving service in here, and we have camp meetings, we have tours. This is the Ora Old Fields Presbyterian Church. It was down on 221 between Lawrence and Ora. There used to be a church here. It was the Gray Court Presbyterian Church, or the Dorroh Presbyterian Church, but it had been taken down in the 40s, the congregation no longer attending. So we wanted to put a church back here, and one of our members, James Gambrell, had taken this one down. So he said, well, we could get it. So we moved it over here and put it up. We had pictures. We put it up exactly as it had been and used as much of the old material as we could. This is the old Gray Court Cemetery. Some people call it the Dorroh Cemetery because the first people who lived here were the Dorrohs. It was called Dorrohville. They started the Presbyterian Church here. They had the old Dorroh stagecoach in and stop, and it is still here, just west of here on the old Georgia Road. The stagecoach would blow the horn to signal how many would be staying the night and staying to eat. There are Dorrohs buried in this cemetery. We have 5 Confederate soldiers buried here and 1 from the North. And he stayed and married a girl here, and their child, their 2-year-old child, is the oldest grave in this cemetery. This is the Piney Grove School. It was an African-American school in the Youngs community, just about 4 miles east of here. It was still in use in 1954. We think it was started in the late 1800s. And we have interviewed people who went to school here. It's a wonderful example of early education here. Many people went to the one-room schools, and we're very thankful to have this school. We do tours and we teach people how education used to be. This is the inside of the Piney Grove School. The last teacher to teach in here was Maudie Stoddard Childs. This is her picture right over here. She taught here, and this school was still in use in 1954. She was a child of the Stoddards who lived here on Georgia Road in Gray Court, and her sister Gladys Stoddard Henderson gave us that picture. We gathered various memorabilia from the early schools. The early schools would have had these slab benches to start with, and later on the little straight chairs. The teacher would cook lunch in the fire in a big black pot. The teenage boys would gather the wood for the fire and get the water from the spring. We have interviewed some of the students who attended this school. This was up on a hill off Bramlett Church Road and Piney Grove School Road, and a tree had fallen over the end, and we were so thankful to get it moved over here and preserved, and we do use it for teaching early American education and African American education. This picture is a replica of Winslow Homer's painting of a one-room school in about 1870. And this is just exactly the way it was here in the 1800s, the barefoot boys playing crack the whip at recess in the one-room school. This one includes George Washington and some of the soldiers of the Revolution, and we do work to teach the Revolutionary and the 1800s. Diane Culbertson, the president of the Gray Owens Historical Society. This is Sarah Jane Armstrong, the vice president, and we have been in this from the beginning, working hard. And Sarah Jane has done so much to make Pioneer Day happen, getting everyone to come, making everything happen, organizing, and just done a wonderful job of promoting this. She always has.
And we just enjoy doing this. We're trying to preserve our past for future generations, and we're happy to see young people come out and make social studies exciting for them. And maybe they'll get motivated to read books and do more things.
We're having a great day today, and we invite you to come to see us. We're on our website is gcohistoricalsociety.org, and you can contact us for tours, and we would be happy to see you. Thank you.